Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Berlin Selectboard meeting of October 6th. To my left is Flo Smith, and to my right, Vince Connie and Carolyn Louisel. I'm Joe Staub. Do we have any additions and deletions?
One addition is the stream stabilization bids tonight.
You want to add that in?
Unfortunately, we probably need to add it towards the end because there's one specific one we may want to talk some detail on. And we'll make a decision coming out of the executive session on that, I believe.
Okay, so that's going to be after roundtable or after license?
Be after roundtable.
Roundtable. Okay. Nothing else? Public comments? Nothing from the public. Board appointments, DRB and the Planning Commission.
Two board appointments for the Planning Commission. Mr. Gordon Clow, did I pronounce that correctly? No?
I don't
He's
think
not
they're here.
here.
I don't think
Okay.
he's here. Tom, have you talked to them, to him?
Just when he received over the.
He was here at the last meeting, I believe,
Oh, that
as
was
well.
the one that was here. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
he was already appointed.
No?
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mr. Clow.
I'll second.
Are you familiar with?
He lives right on Scott Hill Road, yeah, it's right around the corner. He's a warm body, interested. Well, yeah. Those two of the good things.
He meets the qualifications.
He does.
All right, if there's no more discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And we have Kim Pearl for the DRB.
I make the motion to approve Kim Peralt's interest in the DRB as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
For you to sign.
Okay. Public Works update. I think this is Craig.
This is me. I'm Craig Pelletier. I just met some of you that I haven't met before. I just wanted to give an update on the drought. For starters, we're still under a water conservation order. We have one well that's not producing out of 4, so that's 25% loss right there alone. The other 3 are down at least 40% capacity, so we're hurting pretty bad, but the good news is that nothing's changed in the sense that nothing's gotten worse. But we have Monash well drillers coming on Thursday to, well, we'll be discussing options tomorrow afternoon, and one of those is fracking the well, which is kind of opening up the veins to hopefully let more water in. Pending positive results of that, and a little bit of rain, I'm hoping I can lift the conservation order. And the conservation order is just for the water system, the Berlin municipal water system. Although I think it's a good idea that everybody conserve water right now, because I know there's a lot of private wells that are going dry. And you guys are probably not too familiar with some of the projects that we have in the pipeline. Like, you may have heard of Hospital Hill, the sewer line replacement. That went out for bond vote almost 2 years ago now, actually. Tom Badowski spearheaded that bond vote effort, and we're at 100% design, but we've been waiting on the funding. We make the funding line from the state revolving fund, and then we get kicked off it, and the line moves and it resets every July. So we're waiting to hear that funding has become available for that again, and we'll be ready to go out to bid as soon as it does. which is exciting. That's been 3 years.
So when will you know, is there a certain time when they make the
There's-
next announcement, or?
The finance director for the SRF program said usually October, he takes a look at the list and kind of readjusts. He reaches out to people and asks if projects are still moving forward or kicks people off the list. And I'm hoping, he told me last year they were able to fund all the projects or offer funding to all the projects on the list, which included us. But we didn't have all the permitting in place to get project ready and utilize that funding, so.
At this point, are we pretty much project ready?
Yeah, actually, we're 100% design has been completed. We're just waiting on comments back from the state for step 3, which is construction, so as soon as we get that, the funding notice and that ESA signed for step 3, it'll go out to bid for spring, early summer. And hopefully I'll have some documents for you guys to sign next time you see me. But that all depends on, the state is very bogged down right now. They just lost a key member of that SRF program, so. Is there any other, that's it on that one. The other one you may see some documents on at the next meeting is our pump station replacement, the main pump station down on Route 302. It handles all of Berlin's 14 miles of sewer lines end up there, and it conveys over 70 million gallons of wastewater a year to the Montpelier wastewater treatment facility, and it was built in 1982.
Wow.
Some of the mechanical parts, the pumps and such, have been replaced since then, but the structure itself needs work, refurbishment, or what we're looking to do is replacement. It's also kind of an unsafe design. You have to go down. I have to get on an elevator and go 30 feet underground just to get to the pumps. So we're trying to get away from any of that confined space. I mean, we have a good procedure in place that keeps it fairly safe. I'm the only person that goes down there, but we are.
And we got funding from from one of the Senate?
Senator Welch's
Yeah.
office offered, we're in the running for a grant for $685,000, which, oh no, I'm sorry, that's for Scott Hill Loop.
Yeah, we've got
We-
850.
Yes, yeah, they're both from Senator Welch's office,
Yeah.
sorry. And that is waiting on, we have an engineering service agreement that the state is reviewing for design. We still haven't got the comments from them on that, and actually the asset management plan that Tom was part of years ago is still sitting on someone's desk at the state and not approved, which holds, it's the preliminary engineering report, so it holds up the whole process if that hasn't been approved. And they're confident. I told them I was hoping to get it in front of you guys by the end of the month, then at the next meeting. The gentleman from the state seemed confident that we can have at least the loan funding application ready to go, and the ESA for you guys to sign at the next meeting, but we'll see. Hoping for a bond vote in March, and we hope that design is far enough along to come up with a number that's realistic so that we don't have to possibly go back, go to a bond vote twice. And that's where that stands. We're sit and wait, I guess. And then Scott Hill Loop is the only other big project I have. That one has kind of been put to the back burner because of funding. It's gone from 3.2 million to over 5 million in less than 2 years. There was a bond vote approved for 3.7 million, and it was the next year, I think it shot up almost $2 million. So it's kind of unattainable without some grant money, but hopefully we'll wait and see. It's 90% designed, probably 100%, but it hasn't been approved. So it's not quite shovel ready, but they've done most of the legwork, all the field work and stuff is done, but that's a pretty critical project. It's just a very expensive one, so it's essentially unaffordable for the water system until there's some serious grant money, so.
So even with the funding from the senator, that doesn't?
It's a different project.
Oh,
different
okay,
project.
sorry.
This is.
We did get an offer from, well, that's the one, we're in the running for $685,000.
Okay. But
I
that's
said,
the-
I think they needed to move the decimal point over 10, but, you know, it's help, it's just not quite enough, so. That is about all I have for project updates. Like I said, you guys will be seeing some of these papers come across this desk, hopefully at the next meeting, but that's not really up to me, so.
Question for you. Fracking of the one well, could anything happen to the other two if that was to happen?
That is definitely one of the potential negative outcomes.
Okay.
Minosh has looked at the well. I'm supposed to have a conversation with the state hydrogeologist. I was supposed to talk to her today. It didn't happen. She didn't answer her phone, but we didn't have a meeting set up per se, but we are supposed to talk about it because they actually recommended the newer well, the well 4, they recommended deepening that well as a better course of action because it's farther away from the other three wells. The 3 original wells are close to within 100 yards of each other, so there is potential that doing this to this one could affect the other one or collapse the well. I mean, there's some negative sides, but they feel pretty confident by looking at what they've seen, can tell from the rock structure, the bedrock structure that the well's in, that it has a pretty good chance of success. And it's not really, I mean, I can turn it on for an hour or 2 right now and it'll spit out water, but then it just dies right off. And so we can't make that well any worse, but potentially the others can be affected. So nothing's set in stone, and that conversation with the state geologist will hopefully shed some light, maybe even redirect their course of action.
But I'll just add to the Scott Hill Loop, but what advantage we have the new hotel coming online, right? That's 100 units. We've got some other projects that are fairly large consumers coming on. I think once those come online, the select board could look at the debt service burden of another $2 million yet. It may be affordable at that when these other projects come online. So hopefully we don't have to wait that long to take another bite at this apple.
Thank you for the thorough update.
Absolutely, that was all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you guys.
Do you anticipate coming like really regularly, right, to the meetings?
Definitely when there's big updates with those projects, and there should be some loan documents and other legal documents. Anytime there's something like that, absolutely. Or if you guys just want to, maybe update on the drought or something, if there's some major change there, absolutely.
Well, I know we had talked about, because we were now reviewing the payments and whatnot, invoices that maybe.
Yeah. Like with the Public Works Board, mostly what I did was updated them on the same, the big ticket items. The day-to-day minutia was kind of, they left up to me, and my job, I think, was created to take the place of the Public Works Board, so.
Right.
Essentially, anytime there's a big update, but my thought was that you guys, you have at least an hour and a half, if not longer, meeting already without me adding stuff on top. But there are some things that I definitely need your assistance with, like those loan documents and absolutely paying the bills and keeping the lights on. So I appreciate you guys stepping in and taking care of that for me.
Well, if we need you, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
So I do have a question on here.
Yep.
As far as the testing, the water quality testing, I'm sure that's what it is. Is that a regular scheduled testing, or is this to do with the drought as well?
No, it's regularly scheduled testing. The
Okay.
state puts out a schedule and I have to follow that. But it's at least 2 samples a month for coliform bacteria, which is the most common health scare with drinking water, E. coli bacteria.
Thank you.
Yep.
If there's nothing else, construction management.
Again, it's Tim and Craig are here. This is with the town garage for the, there was two people that came in. We went through another interview process with them, Connor and Reart, and they're here to make their recommendation, I think, tonight on, of those two, which one they would prefer to go with for managing that project. Is that stated correctly?
So yeah,
Okay.
like Vince said, we had 5 applicants. We narrowed it down to 2. Well, it was been a week ago. Today, I guess. I think. But we sat down with them and they had an hour's worth of interview time for each candidate. Vince sat in on the interviews as well as the architectural company that we're working with. And after a few other sit downs between the 3 of us and me and Craig also on some separate occasions, we'd like to put forth to have Connor do our construction management position, fill our construction management position. If you guys have any questions to that,
Was there anything that stood out?
I mean, they were both as equal. Like,
It was tougher than we thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be, because we kind of were rooting for the local guy, and some of us know Connor Construction just from being in town, and but Reart put on a very good sales pitch. They had other stuff that, you know, they have a few more resources maybe than Connor's. They're a bit bigger company and more technologically advanced, so to speak. They were put on a very good video and show, but yeah, I think we feel like having the guy who builds the building right here in town is worth a lot, especially after it's built. And I think there's gonna be a lot of attention to detail because they're local, they're taxpayers, and, you know, there's a certain amount of pride there, but you know, that being said, they both would have done a good job for sure. It was harder than we thought it was gonna be. We actually had to have a couple meetings after it just to make sure we were all on the same page and same line of thought, so.
Yeah, again, they said it pretty well. Both were equally as good. The architect that was there as well has worked with both of them. Had nothing but good things to say about both of them as well. So, I support these guys' recommendation.
I do as well, the way you presented it to us and the thoroughness, and I appreciate it.
Should I be looking for a motion?
Yep,
I make the motion that we go forward with the recommendation.
it's Connor. by the way.
Right, Connor, yes. And as presented tonight by both Tim and Craig.
I'll second.
And if there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Moving on to audit briefings.
Okay. Yep,
Rick is on.
Rick is online. Rick, can you hear us okay?
I can hear. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Yes, very well.
Perfect. Do you want me to dive in?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah, I'm here to present the 6/30/24 audit tonight. So what I'd like to do is kind of just take a few minutes with you, kind of run through the audit report, and kind of go over what I think are the important things. I'm not going to get too much into numbers. Obviously, a lot of the numbers are old at this point, but more about the process and the result. So I'm looking at pages 1 through 3. there's a lot of information in this report, 63 pages, footnotes, balance sheets, income statements, all sorts of backup schedules. But my real responsibility is pages 1 through 3. It's the auditor's opinion. When an auditor is doing his testing and doing his determinations in his audit, he has this opinion and he can come up with 3 choices. The financial statements, one's called an adverse opinion, meaning the financial statements are not fairly stated. There's a qualified opinion, meaning the financial statements are fairly stated except for something. And then the best you can get is an unqualified audit opinion. The town of Berlin achieved an unqualified audit opinion for 6/30/24. And I always like to congratulate my clients who get that, because not all of them do, and it's a lot of work to get there. Kind of skipping over to pages 6 and 7. These are the fund financial statements. So let's looking at your general fund, your ARPA fund, and your other non-major funds. So you're looking at page 6. This is your balance sheet. This is basically a snapshot in time of your assets and liabilities at 6/30/24. Whether you take your assets minus your liabilities, looking down at the lower section, and those are your fund balances, what's left after the year end. So I just wanted to kind of run you through that. And then the next page, if you're looking for the revenues and expenses that flow through the funds, or somebody might refer to it as the income statement, that would be on page 7. Kind of looking at pages 9 and 10. Again, same kind of thing, balance sheet and income statement, but these are for your enterprise funds, for your water, sewer. They're a little different. They actually book all your debt, capital assets, depreciation. They're treated more like a business. But again, this is a snapshot in time of what things look like at 6/30/24 and the fund balances for those. Obviously, the big things I kind of was noting is the sewer had a really healthy fund balance. The water fund had a small fund balance of unrestricted of about $95,000. Kind of looking at pages 14 through 44, and I'm not going to go into the detail of them, but I wanted to at least point them out to you. These are what we refer to as the notes to the financial statements. If you're looking for a deeper dive in what's in cash, what's insured, what's collateralized, what are their fund balances, what are they assigned for and restricted for, debt terms and depreciation, things like that, there's a much deeper dive in all these. If you go through these notes, there's a lot of great information in there. I just wanted to at least point that out as you're going through that. And then what you're used to seeing is on page 45. You've probably been seeing these on a regular basis throughout the year, your budget actual. This would be your final budget actual for the year, but it's a great report to kind of review where you ended up the year, and revenues above budget, expenses above budget or below budget, either way. But this is how it ended up for the year, and that goes on for from 45 to 51. If you're looking in the back, there's a couple small funds you have: the bike path fund, the Montpelier filtration fund, asset forfeiture. Not a lot of dollars in those, but those are the small funds that roll up to the front and are called your non-major funds. So if you were back at that original balance sheet we looked at, you see general fund, ARPA, and these are the non-major funds here and how they roll up to that total. So whenever we're doing an audit, if there's material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, we're required to report those to the board. So we did have some items that we wanted to bring up. The main one is, obviously the big one, is the reconciliation of balance sheet accounts, just making sure that at year end, all the cash accounts, receivables, payables are all updated, booked, and reconciled with supporting schedules. I think there was some transition, obviously, in finance there, and I think that it was a year of learning, and so I think there were some pieces that just didn't get done, but kind of worked their way through the process and finally got done for the audit. We're trying to have it done on a more timely basis, and that, so that if you're looking at the point 1, that's all about balance sheet accounts. Point 2 is about bank statements. Same thing, reconciling the bank statements timely to the books. And then the other ones are, again, fund balance entries, classification of revenue expenses. That's just how you're going about classifying some particular revenues and expenses, and making sure that when you're posting entries to the trial balances, that we don't hit fund balance accounts with entries. And then we also just wanted to make sure that there was some organization to sign board warrants, which you'll see is item 6. It's just making sure that we can find all the board warrants, make sure they're all signed, all the invoices are able to be found and located as part of the process. And so we're just recommending that. We've talked about all these with the staff. They've actually provided responses, which are actually in back of the audit report, the last few pages. Other required communications. We encountered no difficulties in dealing with staff or management. We had no disagreements with staff or management. We had no consultations with other auditors, and all entries we proposed were posted by management. So there were no unposted entries. That's pretty much all I had today. I didn't know if there were any questions from anybody.
This is very thorough, greatly appreciated.
Very welcome. It was a pleasure to work with the staff there.
I was just gonna say appreciation to our staff too. For
Absolutely.
working well with you and vice versa. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Questions? Good.
Huh? You want us to ask questions? I'm sure I can think of some if you really want me to, but.
All right. Good. Yeah. Give more to review
Yes,
than Marcus.
but thank you very much for
Yeah,
it.
thank
I
you.
really
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
how you presented it to us, Rick, and explained it. Thank you.
No problem. Have a great night.
You too.
If I may, and I know I think I'm
You're
next.
Yes.
For the record, Carol Dawes. I've been working as a financial consultant since November for the town. And the traditional action upon presentation of the audit is to accept it. It doesn't need to be approved by the select board, but it is traditionally motioned for acceptance.
Okay.
Thank you. Be looking for,
I will make the motion to accept the audit report as presented this evening.
Second. Thank you.
is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you for keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Yes, I
Yes.
appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Carol.
Those are the kinds of things people like to see in the minutes, so.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure, first of all, this is a tremendous amount of material that you've all been handed, and it's not the kind of stuff that you're going to absorb in, overnight or a week or whatever. So I recommend that you come back with questions if there are questions, if you don't understand something. We may not be able to help you. Just to give you an idea, I spent the last 16 years as the Barre City Clerk and Treasurer, and I retired from that position a little over a year ago. I'm now back as treasurer with the city of Barre, so retirement didn't stick. So I've been involved with financial stuff in the past, but have not been involved with actually creating the audit for the city of Barre to a heavy degree. So I may be able to explain some things and others not so much, but always happy to dig into some stuff. I did want to point out, as Rick mentioned, there is, in the letter that was part of your audit package, there are a number of items starting on, they're not page numbered. There is, about in the middle, there is a thing that says other recommendations, and it starts with education billing fee retained. Both these recommendations and a number of the identified weaknesses have already been corrected or are in the process of being corrected. New procedures have been put in place and are being put in place. As Rick mentioned, this audit is for 15 months ago, so it's been a long time since these books closed. books closed, and a lot of things have happened since then as far as making improvements to the systems and the record keeping. And there are additional things that will be put in place. I'm here for another month, and my hope is to get a few more things in place. But Callie has been picking stuff up and running with it, and which is good because I'm delving into FEMA stuff right now to try to finish that up from 23. So yeah, so we're expecting to have addressed most, if not all, of the items in here. You will see that there is mention on a few policies. And that will be something that the select board should look into. There's mention of fraud policies, et cetera. I know that I actually worked a bit with Tor when he was here. I shared with him copies of policies from Berry City. They ain't protected, they're all on our website, and they're great, and we did the same thing when we built them, you know, 10, 15 years ago. So it's a great way to find policies, no need to reinvent the wheel. Look for what's available out there and reshape it to fit your town. And it's very helpful to have those policies in place, not only to make sure that you're accounting for the money correctly and that you're protecting it, but also funding organizations and sources want to see that you have those various policies in place. So it's good to be able to point them to those things, so.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I noticed that they also recommend a fraud risk assessment. How do you go about getting one of those done? Who does that?
The state auditor's office has created a one-page fraud assessment that is supposed to be done on an annual basis.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I will share the link for that with Callie, and essentially it should be done every spring and then shared with and it's, you know, goes through, is the same person reconciling the check, signing the check says is reconciling, you know, it's pretty rudimentary, but it's also good to look through and sort of give yourself a report card.
Yep.
And then that information is minuted as part of your select board minutes, and it becomes an annual occurrence, so.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we'll go through that. So feel free to reach out to me through Vince, through Callie, through Shelley. I'm happy to answer questions.
Great, thank you, Carol, appreciate that.
And you're here twice a week?
I'm here a couple times. I'm here generally Mondays and Wednesdays through the end of the month. Though I have a tendency to renew.
For now, through the end of the month, for now.
How many it's to the end of the month.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Wow, lots of information.
We're not done yet.
Was that part of the audit?
That was.
Okay.
Carol's update.
So now we're moving on to the Riverton grant.
Well, wait, is
funding.
that all Carol was doing?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But for this.
For now.
Okay.
She might be back later.
So the Riverton grant funding update. This is Tom.
Yep.
So you're familiar with the planning mission, and the select board have been working on a village wastewater program in Riverton. Capacity for about 24 homes. The system is like your home septic system, but on steroids. And so we've gone through some preliminary engineering reports on it. Craig mentioned earlier that when you're seeking funding through the Clean Water SRF program, every year you go through a priority points application, and how you score on that application, it defines if you are eligible for either loan funding or grant funding for projects. Traditionally for this project, we score in the mid-70s out of 100 points. That's enough to get loan funding, but not enough to get points to get grant funding. And one of the categories that we fall deficient on, the Clean Water SRF portion of this application is, it's at the ready. You're at that point, evaluation is worth 12 points out of 100. We've typically been getting 1. So how you get to at the ready is you develop a final design and you have your permits in place, just like Craig was mentioning before. Now that Hospital Hill is eligible for those because they've gone through that. So Otter Creek Engineering has been the engineer of record for the Riverton wastewater project.
It's in their package as well.
Yep.
From Otter Creek.
And it's, I think it was like May that we got that quote as well.
June 19th,
Okay.
it's dated.
It's about $50,000 to get the engineering design and permits done. So I'm requesting that the select board give consideration to funding that. The little bit of context, you're probably familiar that the town is involved in a transit-oriented development project down in Riverton. And that will be finishing here in the next 4 to 6 weeks. The basis of that recommendation out of that plan would be to complete this wastewater project down there. And as you well know, the town plan needs updated as well. The select board just hired a consultant to that end, and the planning commission has met and come up with a list of projects. Right now, I think the town plan has some good bones. And we spent the last 8 years meeting roughly 16 of the 20 goals in there. And so what the planning commission wants to do is now put actually specific projects in the town plan. A handful of those, probably at the top of that list from earlier discussions, will be this Riverton wastewater project. So again, it's $50,000. There are, I think, several sources of funding that we could look at for that. So that's, I'll just throw that out then for your folks' discussion.
So,
Go ahead.
so Tom, I'm not completely up to speed in terms of, do we have a sense of who's gonna use the system? Have the residents, have we gotten that far? And I only ask because I'm thinking about the repayment part.
Well, the use, we hope it's gonna add 24 new units. There are some septic systems down in Riverton that may be in various stages of failing, that I think they would be top priority candidates if their system is failing, that they would be given top priority to join in this. At the end of the day, we want to add new housing as well, right? And so the planning commission is hoping that we could bank on at least 50% of the units, 12 units, 12 of the units being used for new housing. We did a pro forma on valuation of a house, the tax capability of that. If you may recall that we have a shortlisted on congressional directed spending down there. So we're about $200,000 short, so we believe that the debt service can be covered by the users of the system. That's the plan, is that they cover the system. So we haven't signed any up for contracts yet. The parcel that's going to house this, it is a developer. He thought he would add 4 to 6 units just on his parcel. But we're not signing people up to participate.
No, I understand. I just didn't know what the interest was, because I remember we had those meetings, and I'm just wondering if there's been
Well, I mean, there's interest from the property owner itself, so.
No, I know, but there was also testimony that that land wouldn't be, there would not be putting 20 units on that
No, there's
land,
not.
so.
Not 20 units of housing, but it would house it.
Right,
Yeah.
so I'm just wondering,
We haven't gone out and canvassed the community, we just haven't done that yet. That's, I think, premature until we have the permits in place that we actually could say, yes, you know, if you develop an accessory dwelling unit on your property, now you have access
Right.
to the system, so. I think it's just an investment in Berlin's future, I mean, that's how.
no, I agree, I just don't wanna do an if we build it, they will come mentality if we don't know if they're
Well,
gonna come.
and I think if we go through this step, get the permits and all that, then we go do that step.
Just an opinion question, to follow up to what Carla just said, if we build it, they will come. But I don't think it's a question if we build it, right? Berlin's gonna continue to grow.
Right,
Right? And my gut feeling is the longer we wait, the more it's gonna cost us, right?
I agree.
I think
I agree.
at some point in time down there's going to be a 24 unit capacity septic system, a super septic system,
We can only hope for it.
right? But one of the first steps is getting it designed.
Yeah.
Right? So if we have the design, whether we build it in 1 year or in 5 years, we have a better chance of getting
The funding.
some grant
Yes.
funding for it as well. Right?
Correct.
That kind of sums it up, I think, from my perspective of where I think we are with
It
it.
gets us from the mid-70s on the points to the mid-80s, the high 80s.
Mid-80s or above,
And
it's
that
gives us a
gets
better
you in-
chance.
in the
And that could be the trigger
That
to,
could be where
Where we say go.
Right, that's right.
at that point.
Yeah.
And along those same lines, my concern, the letter is dated June 19th for a certain amount of money, and just like Vince said, that's where I'm coming from, is it's not gonna
Has
go down in
the price already gone up?
Exactly, I'm certain that it
That's
has.
why I said 50,000, I think that number's a little lower than that.
In here, it says we propose to provide the services outlined above for a fee of 75,000, if I'm reading it right, and it was dated June 19th, so I'm just concerned, but I like what you said in terms of, you know, as we move forward, more will be available to us, perhaps in grant funding, et cetera. And thank you for what you have
Mine says
explained,
40,
Tom.
I'm looking at 45,000.
Down under the budget, it says 45,000, but up under cost proposal, they indicate we propose to provide the services outlined above for a fee of 75,000. First line of the cost proposal, am I understanding that correctly? Or am I looking at the wrong thing from Otter Creek? Does say Riverton WW Design and Permitting.
I think that may be, and we can ask Tom to check on that, I believe that
Is
may
that
be a
an error?
typo. Because the budget breakdown
Says
for the
45.
phases is 45.
Right.
And when I looked at the two, that was my ultimate question, the fact that they did integrate 75,000 there, and the
Yeah, I think
budget
that-
45,000.
I think it's,
I need to go back to them anyways, because that's.
yes, exactly,
Because
exactly.
that is a discrepancy there.
Well, I think it's worth considering, I know
think
Joe
that's
might not
acceptable.
like this opinion, but I think it's worth considering spending some of the option tax money to, it's infrastructure,
design done?
it's, right, I mean, it's,
It's, in my
Considered a
opinion,
capital
you
improvement?
know, Craig's here, that he may have a better answer to this, but I believe the former Public Works Board had a significant fund balance in wastewater allocation. And to me, you borrow from that fund with the promissory notes to pay it
Self-funded,
back. Right.
self-loan,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be my opinion.
okay, that's better.
So you don't use those other funds.
Yeah.
There's already a bank there, but I'd let Craig weigh in on that.
So, Tom, have we done any kind of subsurface investigation?
Yeah, we've done test pitting, it's all in a preliminary engineering report, soils are there, it's ready to go.
Sorry, to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So that would be well, not even really an inter-fund loan, but that would essentially be paid back by these users, or?
Long-term, that would be the
Yeah.
plan, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
the other question I have is upkeep and maintenance. I mean, it's a septic system, so it's gonna require pumping, and I remember looking at it a couple of years ago. I know there's some options where they have, each house has its own pump or,
Yeah, we didn't go that route. Yeah,
okay. So that would be the other portion is, would they essentially have their own sewer bills that would cover the bond
yeah,
and
just like
maintenance?
just
Yeah,
like-
okay.
Like there is
That's-
now, yeah.
I mean, the allocation money is, one of the specific uses for it is increasing capacity. The idea is that, someday we're gonna have to go to Montpelier and purchase more capacity from them. On paper, we're higher than we are in actual flow to Montpelier. So we're less than 40% with actual daily flows to Montpelier. We're allocated up to 600,000 gallons. Generally, we do less than 200,000 a day, sometimes more, sometimes less, but, so it's not like we're gonna need that money tomorrow, essentially.
That's from up here.
Okay.
This is on the
Yeah.
other side, right there.
And I think there's a healthy balance in there. I mean, we had the hotel alone, as long as that project doesn't fall through, was over $100,000 last year. That's why there's quite a fund balance there, so there's money there.
Yeah, we actually went through about 2-3 years ago now, that out of the 600,000, there was 400,000 gallons allocated. And the allocation were given out in the 80s for given out like candy. And so we were able to reobtain additional 200,000 of that back. So we went from having given out 400,000 to, Craig said, 200,000. So there's
Lots of
lots of
capacity.
capacity. And we just signed a 25-year agreement with City of Montpelier to continue taking our wastewater.
So do you want us to wait do you want an answer, or do you wanna wait till you get the amount re-looked at?
I would like just for you guys to say, go get a number, I can bring the number back, I'd like to get the project going. Otter Creek spends time doing these things. I'd like to just say, look, if numbers are good, we're gonna do a project.
I'd be curious to, maybe Carol can answer this, how that looked. So I don't have that budgeted. I have Hospital Hill, I have Pump Station, I have capital improvement projects budgeted for, but how would that come out of my accounting?
Yeah, it's not part of your operating. We would look at if it was coming out of either the allocation fund or some other fund, then it would flow out, forgive the pun, it would come out of that instead of through your operating. And that's part of one of the things that I want to talk to the select board about, is creating better separation between the operations, whether it's general fund or whether it's the enterprise funds, and the special projects.
Yeah, we had
Whether
talked
it's
about
grants.
that
Yeah,
just recently.
yeah. So that,
Yeah.
to keep the budgeted expenses more even for comparisons year over year, so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
My opinion is that I'll make a motion, I guess, to let Tom move forward and get a number and come back to the board, and then we can say, yep, we're good to go, if the number makes sense.
I'll second that, because I'm definitely interested in the numbers and where things are at this point, et cetera.
Is there any more discussion on it?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Opposed?
thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol, and Craig.
Staying with the same theme, I think we're still with Tom.
The multi-use tax. Use tax.
So you may recall that we have, I spoke to so many people on this project. So we have $1.6 million congressional direct spending to add pedestrian access in the new town center. Goes up until the new federal administration came in, there was no window closing on when you had to spend those funds. Now with the new federal administration, there's a 2-year window, so we sort of shifted our focus from the original design to a design with partnering with V-Trans to bring pedestrian access down Payne Turnpike North and Fisher Road. I believe we had this conversation with the select board here last meeting or a couple meetings ago. So I've met again with V-Trans and Senator Sanders' office who sponsored that congressional directed spending. And so V-Trans has agreed to use their design consultant. As you recall, they purchased a piece of property on Payne Turnpike North, put the new district garage there. So they were gonna run sidewalks there, and so they've instructed their consultant to just continue this along. And so, had a very productive meeting last month. We're gonna meet again here next week to see if any hurdles have come down that path, but right now we're working very cooperatively with V-Trans, and I'm very excited because again, we have no staff capability, we don't have any engineers in place here, and if we can piggyback on their projects to save us some money towards that end, I think it's just a good win-win. So I'll just come to the board on a regular basis and discuss this project. Again, we have 2 years to get the project to the point where the money is allocated for construction. So
What's the time frame? When did the 2-year counter start?
it will end 27 in August or September 27.
And can you, right now, where's the design of the sidewalk start and end?
It will start at the driveway to the elementary school, go down Payne Turnpike North towards Montpelier, and go right on Fisher Road and end at the Berlin Mall intersection with the CBMC hospital. Assuming the dollars are there to take it that far.
Are they gonna be crisscrossing on Fisher Road? I do know that State Hospital has a stretch of sidewalk there.
Haven't got that far, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope not, right? But if it makes sense to do that, then you'd run we're not gonna run sidewalks on both sides of the road. That's just not our intent to do that. But there may be a small section where that does make sense. But we have not got that far yet.
Have a good evening.
Okay, thank
So
you,
this
Tom.
is just an update.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
it's just an update. This is the next one.
All right. So moving on to Coos Trail, RFP update.
Yeah, this is again the 3.8 acres in the new town center and Goose Trail. I mentioned to you, the select board gave a blessing at the last meeting to look at developing a request for a proposal to do a public-private partnership to look at developing both the 7 acres at Goose Trail and 3.8 acres in the new town center. I've met with folks from Negley and Chase, and they have agreed to develop an RFP at no cost to the town for these projects. So I'm working with those folks to develop that. I'll bring that back to the select board for final review on it. I'm hoping that we can get it out on the street in December, and get some proposals back on what some vendors these properties may be able to be used for. You've probably seen the construction going on over at the new town center now. There's a good bit of buzz in town. about that. I've heard nothing but positive feedback on it. So I think the timing is right to have something like this, to where we could sit down with our community and look at a vision of these assets we have in our town. So that RFP is being developed, but I'm relying on these folks to build it for me.
But you're doing it for the mall site too?
Yep.
Okay, cause it just, the agenda said Kuster, I just wanna
See,
make sure.
the 3.8 acres, it should say,
Okay.
Yeah, that should.
It's okay, just wanna make sure, cause that's kind of important.
it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's a big one. Good, that'll be exciting.
Is there any ideas for Coos Trail? That's,
I have lots of ideas.
Tom?
It's interesting, we got some, I talked to, again, today a realtor came in and there's a landlocked property just below us there. And I said, well, maybe, the owner may wanna give that to the town and it could be an asset if we develop our 7.8 acres, it's 15 some acres down there if on the 7.8 it's housing, then you can make this 15 acres into some sort of community park or something like that. So I just had that conversation today with a realtor, and he said he'll take it back to his client to see what they're thinking.
I got a question on that. Like, who would be responsible for making that road fit for travel again?
Well, it's gonna be part of the development, right?
Is that road-
Whatever it's built.
I mean, that road's 14 feet wide at the minimum, and it's nothing but a goat path. And
No,
Yeah,
that's,
no,
it has
that would
no
be
sub,
part
it
of,
has no sub base to it. It's just an old cart path that used to go through the woods down there, and
yeah, it
no,
would have,
it's just like what we're doing over here.
Yeah, it'll be part of the development. Not you.
well, I'm just saying, like, if the town was gonna be the one that was gonna be held responsible, bring that to a class 3 standard of width of two lanes of travel, and it's a
That's not the plan right now.
big cost.
No.
okay,
Okay.
thank you. And Tom, you're up again with grant agreement.
Yep, this is a resolution for Tom to be able to sign off on the I can always get it back, BCDP activities, that grant agreement.
is that flood buyout stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the closing, that I can sign the closing documents. I think it's the 23rd of this month is closing.
Yep, so that's all that's for.
I move to authorize Tom to sign on behalf of the board a buyout closing,
I second it.
50 Junction Road.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Tom.
So I'm just gonna go
There's
around all board to
the
sign.
one further down Junction Road is looking to close in November, so I may be coming back to you for a similar one for that one.
Grants, consultant management.
Yeah, I'll just quickly talk on this one. This, again, the next couple of topics are gonna be similar theme, right? We had Ron in here a couple of meetings ago, right? Got his vision on things, and what he thought. I don't wanna lose track of that. I think it's important that we keep talking about it until we make a decision on what we wanna do, right? So, the grants, consultant management, right now, I personally, from the feedback I've got when I see, we don't do a great job with grant management, and we go after a lot. We have a lot out there, right? Grants and all those things. We need to start talking about it from a staffing point. I know we're gonna talk about it a little bit more later as well, but, possibly part-time or go out for an RFP. This is just a discussion point tonight to keep us thinking about it and what we wanna do.
Now, for clarification, we do have somebody, Tom, did you tell me, doing certain grants, right?
One, I think it's one or two specific ones.
Yes, one or two specific ones.
That's it.
Because I asked him about that
Yep,
information you found, and he said,
the contract's on my desk.
Parametric.
yeah.
Yep.
That was, I think, something with the police now, because, are you still using them much?
I've been doing everything through the engineering firm.
So we haven't really used
Really been using it?
iParametrics.
Yeah,
For much. I think they were really brought on for a couple specific ones,
Yeah.
if I read the contract.
we also haven't
And
got
then-
into the actual applying for the EPA STAG grant, that I think was what we thought we may need them for, but the engineering firm seems pretty well versed in that stuff and has been guiding me. I mean, every time I've asked them a question, they've had an answer, so. And every time I ask iParametrics the question, it costs me $700. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we're really not using them.
Okay.
So, that one,
Yeah.
again, we need to keep talking about it until we make a decision on what we wanna do, because again, from a staff perspective, right,
No, absolutely,
it's a burden and,
It's also important.
yeah, exactly. So, I think that's all I'll say on that one for now.
And then the staff assessment.
So again, same thing.
Same thing.
Ron had brought that up, recommended that we consider an RFQ from a third party to come in and do an assessment, give us a report. So it's not of our own, decisions.
This is of needs.
Right?
Not of all the staff.
And decide how to move forward, make some decisions on that as well.
We're not gonna hire somebody to do staff reviews, this is staffing needs.
So again, this is for discussion, but at some point in the very near future, it'll be on here again for a decision. Are we gonna get an RFQ or not? So if there's questions or things you want.
I
let me
definitely
know.
think we should. Cause I think staffing is a big, lack of staff.
I think we're asking more and more of our staff.
Right, so I think we need to think about having this assessment done. I'm in favor of it.
We could decide tonight, don't let me stop us. If we wanna move forward tonight, I'll reach out to Ron. I know he has some recommendations on companies that might be interested in doing that.
I mean,
and
we would
him
have to,
included
we would
as
have to
well, I
put out a
think.
request though, right, because it's gonna be, the amount of money is gonna require it, I would assume.
We don't know the amount, but.
I mean, it's
I
gonna
think-
be over
Yeah.
whatever the minimum.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
So. Do we wanna
Move forward, putting out.
developing at least the
RFQ.
request?
Sure.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we develop an RFP
I'll second it.
for that. Staffing assessment.
Is there a second?
I seconded
Your
it.
second, sorry. Any more discussion?
Can I add to this discussion? So who's gonna do that RFP?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
You are, Tom.
No, no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
I bet there's something, you could probably find something at the league site, don't you think?
Mhm.
They must have,
Ron's
if you need
awful.
help, let me know, I was gonna say Ron would help too.
Yeah. I'll jump right into the next one, which is the reserve fund planning. Same discussion, reserve fund planning, right? None of us here are really experts on it. It would be good if we had someone come in.
Is that small enough a project that we could just have Ron come in?
I don't know.
I just
I
want
don't
like
know.
a one-on-one,
Yeah,
and then see if we need more,
for the board.
yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, if he's willing to, I mean, obviously, he can be on the clock, I mean, he's already under contract, right?
So I'll take an action to
Okay.
talk to Ron and see if we can set up a one-on-one with the board.
That sounds
To
wonderful.
start with this one, to go
Yeah.
into more detail, just
Yeah. Yeah,
we'll have a meeting just on that with him,
yeah,
and then decide if we have to go deeper or
further,
not.
yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, if
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to weigh in a little bit on this. We've just talked about 3 RFQs here, spending those dollars. You've heard me harp on this lots and lots of times. We could take these funds and use this to hire a position in here, right? Instead of us doing this all the time. A finance director would maybe do this kind of stuff, right? I just hope you guys give consideration to the long vision rather than the short vision.
Just to make you aware, there's gonna be some more talk later.
Okay, all right.
Not in a public forum around some of those.
Okay,
I don't disagree with you, Tom, but I don't think that's the priority.
no, I'm just
I
saying.
mean, I think the priority is economic development slash, I mean, personally, somebody that can write grants, somebody that can, that's my personal opinion, before we hire,
Because we did have money budgeted for a part-time
Yes.
position there anyway. Yeah.
but that's one person's opinion, but anyway.
So the select board vacancy,
There's a notice in your packet, right? Are we ready to put that out on the street?
yes.
Except you said we're gonna make an appointment on the November meeting, do we know we're gonna have anybody to appoint?
This is
Maybe.
presumably.
Right,
Oh,
yeah,
do you know something I don't know?
maybe.
Okay.
There might be some interest out there, that's all I
Okay,
know right
just
now.
asking, 'cause that threw me.
I've been talking to some people and they're waiting, I think, to see this come out.
Okay,
And then they might throw their names in the hat, they might not, but
As well as others, so I
Right.
think it's really good to move forward because we don't know who may be interested fully. There may be some interested now, there may be some interested
Can I see
later,
that?
but
Oh,
it's
I didn't
important to get it out so that everyone can determine if they're interested.
do we just wanna add language that says something about at its, or at a meeting when the candidate, I don't know, I'm just asking, or if we just wanna leave it like this?
I'm open.
I think we should have a date that everyone knows when we plan to make our decision.
I'm just saying, we are assuming that in the next 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, somebody's gonna come forward.
Should it be the meeting after the November vote? So at least you have that time period. I think I don't know. If you're gonna put a date on it.
I mean, I guess we can just issue it again if we don't, or issue another one if we don't have anybody by the 3rd.
Yeah,
All right, that's fine.
Is it possible for folks to run as a write-in in November as well? So, I mean, that's something to think about too in terms of when,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think there's time.
but as a write-in, they couldn't express their interest?
There's nothing on your ballot that is electing positions, so there's nowhere for anybody to write anything in.
Very good, very good. I feel like that question was posed to us in some capacity at some point, so I was just curious about that. So thank you for clarifying.
Amended Gateway Road Project Agreement.
I don't think I have a copy of the package of
I
that.
didn't see that in the packet.
Is there one in the electronic one that I sent you? No. Tom, did you have a copy of that?
Yeah, it was amended to the memorandum of understanding between the mall and the town, reflecting the new budget numbers for the Gateway Avenue.
Does it need to be
Yeah.
done tonight?
No, I don't think it needs to be done tonight. We're doing a job now, and we're,
And there's been an
Oh, I
agreement?
missed that, yep. Yes.
I didn't see it on any of the attachments.
Okay.
I didn't either.
Yeah, and it's not in
I
here,
would need
so-
an overview or update.
So let's defer that to the next meeting.
Okay.
I'll get that out to you.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, it's been vetted and produced by the mall.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, so the minutes select board meeting of September 15th,
That's in the package as well.
I wasn't there.
think under the discussion on page 2, at the bottom of the discussion, the RFQ for development of 3.8 acres in the new town center and 7 acres on Coos Trail. I think something in toward the last portion where it stops with Badowski shared that the town did not have to keep the land on Coos Trail, but we did need to keep the 3.8 acres. I'm not quite sure my intent was that Smith asked if we would need to give up Coos Trail, but I do know that I questioned Tom at that time regarding the way he stated the two.
I don't even know what that means.
So the way it's worded here, it's not real clear. I'd have to listen to the meeting again.
I can clarify, just the 3.8 acres, we have to retain ownership. Because
Oh,
where Coos Trail, the
We don't.
select board decides to sell it, they could sell it.
So along those lines, I think if we could put that clarity in there, rather than the way it's worded, it just would be,
How would you like it worded?
I'm not exactly certain, because
think
I'm
retain
looking at it right
ownership
now and
is the
I'm
right
wrapping my
language.
head around it.
instead of keep, because retain ownership makes it clear.
Mm-hmm,
So,
I would say so.
we have to retain ownership of the land.
Yeah,
Is that the only change we need to make?
Mm-hmm,
of the land on Coos Trail, but we
Yep.
did need to retain ownership of the 3.8 acres.
yes, that sounds good. And that'll be much more clear.
Retain ownership, okay.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the recreation center bond vote conversation is a little unclear, but I don't know exactly. How to fix it.
Yeah, that sentence that says Nuizel recommended that breakdown be included as a line as an expected credit, that sentence for sure needs to be revamped. I mean, I understand that it's like a line item, but the rest of the sentence, it needs more to add clarity.
So my first statement was that the consultant recommended that the bond vote only state the amount and not the sources. And then there's a informational page that breaks down the actual costs and offsets. That is, well, that's enough. And then breakdown be included as a line. And then I think, let's just take that sentence out, because I ultimately recommended at the end that when I made the motion, that we do it that way. Yeah, which it says, so, okay, just take that line out.
If you edit that, just give me
Yeah.
the page you edited
There
it
you
and
go.
make sure it gets to the right person. Or the other one.
Is there anything else in the minutes?
Not for me.
Motion to approve with edits.
I'll make a motion to approve with the submitted edits.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Approval of license permits, vouchers, application.
There's a laundry list to read there. Get that one as well.
I make the motion to approve payroll warrant 26-07 for payroll from September 7th, 2025 to September 20th, 2025, to be paid on October 24th, 2025 in the amount of $85,649.04. The payroll warrant 26-08 for payroll from September 21, 2025 to October 4th, 2025, to be paid on October 6, 2025 in the amount of $73,045.64. Payable warrant 26G6 with check number 25336 to 25383 in the amount of $268,104.81. Also, Public Works warrant 26S5 with check numbers 4518 to 4532 in the amount of $94,232.38. An ACH warrant for USDA loan in the amount of $45,371. Also, the General Journal entries for July, August, and September 2025. We also have the Town of Berlin Sewer Fund USDA Payne Turnpike North payment, and that was a total of $45,371 even. And there are good and sufficient funds of $45,371 to match, which we will sign if approved tonight.
Wow. I'll second.
Thank you, Carla.
Does anyone want to check the decimals? No. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roundtable? Flo?
No, thank you.
What is this?
That's gonna be my round table.
Oh, this is.
No, not that, that was just some backup information that
Oh.
we've already talked about. Yeah.
Vince?
I have two things. This one is in your package. It's the select board letter for the recreation center for approval, signature, and publication, should the board desire, or edits.
So, we're going to remove this sentence at the end of paragraph 1 about the skating rink shutting down. I have language at home that I did not send to you about, we're gonna change I propose that we change the language around the,
Second paragraph?
the offset, that it's actually, the federal money is actually not a grant, it's a, tax credit. So I can change, revise that to basically reflect what the program is versus what it says here. And Joe, remind me of the third thing.
Actually, I think there's two things. It also starts talking about, at the bottom of paragraph 2, 2035, the local options tax revenue is estimated to be $2 million per year. I don't know if that's, an actual.
It's a Podolsky actual.
No.
It's based on 2% growth of inflation. So it's,
Well, I don't know if it needs to be there. Does it, you feel?
I think we could
I
talk,
like the idea that it is expected
is
to
expected
continue
to grow.
grow and increase over time. I'm good with that part of it. But stating here something that's gonna be somewhere around 1 million in time, will it be 2 million? Sure. But when will that be, I don't know if it's,
So, do we just wanna say the local option tax revenue,
It's expected to continue to increase over time.
yeah.
Is that what we're looking for?
I think that's probably enough.
Yeah,
We-
just tack that on
If we
to
wanna
the,
put projections in, in Tom and some of in the letter, and the other thing,
pardon me?
if we wanna put something more in the description that we put out to the town about at 2.5% per year, that would reach we could do that. But I think in here, we could just be generic, if that's, you're
yeah,
more comfortable with that.
I'm more comfortable with that.
In 20 years, it's $4 million. Just so you know. That's the reality of inflation, right? Prices are not gonna go down.
No, but we could have a crash. Expected to be no time. Okay, and then was that it, or was there one more thing?
Well, we're talking about using, let's see, third source, the $52,665 per year during this, and that's gonna be the local options tax. And then in your third, actually your fourth paragraph down, is this a catch-all where the select board will use local options tax revenue for the remaining of project costs? Is that it? Is that intended to be overruns? I don't know if that's what the intent was.
No, it's just saying, so, no, it's talking about, cause when we voted last time, wait, did we do a close vote?
You're talking about the last.
No, I
sentence,
think
right?
it's just
It's
stating
part of the
that it's not gonna, it's just a preliminary to the statement that there's not gonna be an increase in property taxes due to this project. That's what the point of talking about the local options tax revenue in that paragraph is. To preface the, there's no money coming out of the general fund statement. So it's not gonna increase taxes.
Okay.
So I think that's good. I mean, at this point, so I think if Joe is gonna sign the letter, he just wanted to make sure we were all okay with, obviously with him
Understood.
signing this and submitting it as a letter to the editor. So I think if everybody's okay, you know, I'll work out the specific details. It'll basically be the same letter, but maybe a few tweaks, based on the conversation that Joe and I had. And then, because I still do have to tweak the language that I, in here about the tax credit
Tax
versus
credit.
the bond.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're okay with that, that's really all, the only changes we'll make, other than those we just discussed. I think we can just, as long as we all agree that we support him sending this letter, I don't think we need to get into all the details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I defer to the expertise the two of you have put into this issue, and you're this far into it, and I would not be opposed to stopping you from that realm, so go forward in good stead.
I say the edits that we all discussed, I'm good if you wanna move forward with that. I'm not sure we need to have a motion on it, do we?
I don't think so
Well,
at
it's not
all.
on the agenda, so we can't.
Right.
Exactly.
But Tom,
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
Is this letter gonna be posted in the newspaper so the citizens will know?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a letter to the editor, to the Times-Argus.
It'll go in the paper, yeah. We could,
And there will be,
we could put it on Front Porch Forum.
yes,
Clerk and
yes,
all that, if
additionally,
Joe
and I think,
wants to do that.
I know that one of the concerns the committee has, or the committees have, and Tom has, is our showing our support for this project. Or at least, you know, pointing out the facts about what's happening with this project and hopefully showing our support. But I do think that, Tom, I think we still need to put out the information on the one-page informational document and how that gets distributed, I guess, whether it just go on front, I don't know where you wanna put it. I guess we can talk about that, he's not answering me. Okay, so
He's checked out.
we will finish this, get it submitted to the Times-Argus, and then hopefully if there's, you know, if people are willing, you know, perhaps put their own posts on Front Porch Forum to show support.
Okay, you have another one?
I do.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
With respect to this letter, if it could hit the Times-Argus, so it's not like a Friday paper or, you know, it's whatever the meat of the week paper is, it's usually Monday, Tuesday, or
I was
Wednesday.
gonna say it's a Monday or a Tuesday.
Thank you.
Will do.
Thank you, Tom.
My next one, something that I know you've all been anxiously awaiting for, that we have wrapped up, we meaning Callie and team, budget reports. For each of you. And Tim, I think yours is in your mailbox. Just Craig's in his mailbox still?
And is this for our review?
That is for your review. We will
Okay.
talk about that more in the very near future.
Are they current and date?
This is current and up to date as of today's.
And,
Okay.
and just for my information, will we get these, how often will we get these? Okay.
Thank you.
That's the end of
You sure?
my roundtable.
All right. Carla?
Go ahead, Tom.
No, I would like to have some time on the round table, not now. Go
You can
ahead.
take mine.
Okay, so, Jason Morrell is here tonight. He's here for, I think, for another matter, but there's an opportunity, the town has an opportunity. You may recall, back in 2017, then the Public Works Board, City of Montpelier, was working with the Weston's Mobile Home Park. And Weston's Mobile Home Park, and to run water and sewer line down to that park. It had a change of ownership, and then the management of the park decided they did not want to participate. Fast forward till today, they realize the needs that they have for water and wastewater in that community. And so they have asked the town to give consideration to participating in a
There's a letter in your package.
letter for
that Tom's talking
support
about.
of the project. And what you may recall that the Central Vermont Economic Development Corporation does a priority listing of projects in Central Vermont, and depending on where those projects rank on their list,
Can't find it.
it would allow you to seek grant funding if you were ranked either first or second. So I strongly encourage the select board to support the manufactured home park as they pursue this. Jason is a commercial property owner down on Route 12, so I've asked him to come in and talk to you about the potential economic development possibilities of having water and sewer down there. So Jason, if you want to add?
Sure, thanks. Obviously, the mobile home park is in need of sewer capacity, and they're going through a new water system there currently. That should go out to bid, I would imagine, the next month for their whole new park. As far as the water and sewer goes for the commercial side, I've got vacant property down there that I could develop. I think I could build about an 18,000 square foot commercial building on my vacant lot across from me. But without the water capacity for sprinkler, for the state mandate for sprinkler systems for any unit over 2,500 square feet, and then the sewer capacity, there's definitely a potential for more development in the Dog River Road, Route 12 corridor. There's adjacent landowners that also have vacant property that haven't been developed, that I think would definitely benefit the town, also myself, for future growth in that area.
So what your support would do is the town would put an application into the Central Vermont Economic Development Corporation listing this project as Berlin's project for 2026. And hopefully get on their prioritization list to get funding for this water and sewer project down on Route 12. We can't extend sewer lines ourselves. You have to have it has to be a growth area or a facility, a neighborhood that shows an economic and environmental need, which that community does, right? They've done an internal income survey. They're at about 65% of Berlin's level, so they would qualify for funding that most communities, most neighborhoods in Berlin would not be eligible for. So again, they have to put this into the, I think by the 15th of this month. So if the select board gives the blessing that the town will help sponsor this project through the Economic Development Corporation for them.
So this is a water and sewer project?
It's definitely sewer.
Yeah.
They're looking at their own water, but the last project was, we were gonna run both down, and it just makes sense to run both down if you can do that.
Whatever happened with the study that was getting done, looking into revisiting those options?
That's what this is too, this is to get the money.
But was any decision made by Weston's, the park itself, as far as,
They're the ones who have hired these folks to do this for them.
so they haven't determined like what route, because they were talking about either a mass replacement of, obviously he must be talking about municipal sewer.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so is that the option they want
That's
to
the
go
one,
with?
that's what they want us to help support, yeah.
So pump station and,
Just like the old design was, yeah.
okay.
They're actually using our design.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard any more on it, so this is the first I've heard on it in a few months. I was curious. And they would have their own allocation at
Yeah.
Montpelier.
They won't put it.
And that would be something that would then fall under Public Works, correct?
I don't think that's been hashed out yet. Probably, I think that was the intent, was that I would have another pump station over.
Pump station, maintenance, built into the cost.
Yeah, it would be the pump station, force main, and I think the main line going up there, Main Street, would possibly be ours. And then, I can't remember exactly, it's been a few months since I looked at it, but.
It doesn't no manhole up there.
It was quite a run for the force main, if I remember. You gotta go all the way up to the interstate bridges.
Yeah, that's where he would dump into.
Yeah.
That would be all yours, right, from the park to down Route 12 to
I
the,
think that was.
to the city line,
yeah.
basically.
They pay for it, and the
Yeah.
town of Berlin would own it and manage it, yeah.
Is there a downside?
I can't think of any.
I mean, you said this would be the 2026 project. Is there any other project that are you saying can only be one and that,
Well, this is due in 2 weeks.
and we're not gonna have another one?
I don't know of anybody that's asking the select board for this, so.
What is the amount of the funding support that's needed
I
for this
have no
project?
idea.
Because I didn't see that in this
No,
in
I have
any
no
way, so
idea.
there's no way to know.
No.
But we're not committing any funding, we're just saying we'll
We'll
We're-
pin our name to,
Yeah.
this is a town of Berlin priority project. We're not putting any skin in the game, any dollars into it.
And I think if we sponsor it, there could potentially be SRF fund,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
all that.
Yeah.
They're looking at northern borders.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Pump stations are, I won't say hassle-free, but they're pretty low maintenance. They get cleaned once or twice a year and generally run pretty well. I just replaced pumps down at Partridge Farms that had been in there since 1986. So they're generally long-running, long-living assets and it sounds like it's a community that really needs it, so. And there's commercial interest, so it's
I
a
make
good
the,
project.
I make the motion to move forward on the CBEDC regional plan, project priority application, and especially the Senate's funding support for this project will allow the residents to improve the long-term wastewater infrastructure on their property in a cost-effective way that allows them to continue to live and work in Berlin and the surrounding communities and support the area businesses. I do agree with you on what you said, Craig, and
Is there a
it
second?
seems important.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor and support of the project?
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed?
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
This wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah. That was in
Well, you could
roundtable.
direct staff. Just direct staff to do it.
So,
You can ratify it at your next meeting.
okay. So what do I have to say? Nothing? Vince will just, okay.
Tom's got my letter, so I'm gonna take yours.
Don't put it on the
It's a
agenda.
valid
That's why I'm
point.
gonna write right on
It's a
this.
valid point because we brought it up under the round table
Yep.
via Tom and without it being on the agenda. Thank you,
We'll ratify it
Carla.
at the next meeting.
Thank you.
That was my miss, that was Tom's catch.
What was the issue that you had when I was reading this? Was there something that was
No, we were
amiss?
talking about something that wasn't on the
Oh,
agenda.
okay, I wondered if there was something amiss with that at that time.
Nope.
Okay, good to know.
Do you have anything for roundtable? If not, do we have executive session?
We do. Actually, we need to, my first ad, the stream stabilization bids.
Oh,
That is true, you did say that
We need-
earlier, you're
we
gonna
need to do
add that
that.
toward the end, before we go into potential executive session.
I didn't make copies for everyone, but. Tom, do you wanna just, while they're looking at
No
it, talk
video?
talk to them?
These are 2023 flood projects, one on Jones Brook Road, the other on Route 12. We've gone to bid, we had 10 bidders come in, and the recommendation from the engineer and staff is on the Jones Brook project, Blue Mountain for $32,875, and on the Route 12 project, Merrill Excavating is $57,815. These are paid for USDA funds, I think, yeah, USDA.
And there is a match by the homeowners, I believe.
25%?
Yeah. What are we doing with these?
good question.
We're awarding the bids, if that's the question.
Okay,
right?
if that's the question.
Tom's gone through the bids, and we wanna, award the bids, so,
And the engineer,
So the two.
right, pending
Two
engineering.
different projects,
yes,
date them as two,
Yep.
yes.
separate.
One Blue Mountain, 32,875, and other Merrill Excavating for 57,815.
So I'm gonna bring it up now, on the one for the, I think it's the Route 12 project.
Yes.
Again, Tom had done some homework on this, trying to get these back up and on board. He came across some information that had been shared back in, it looks like March of 2024 with one of the property owners, and this is in reference to the homeowner's contribution portion. The homeowner is obviously happy, but he was looking for the town to basically, lack of a better term, foot the bill with him authorizing the town to withdraw $500 a month. So basically, a loan from the town to pay for a portion. He could come up with $3,500 up front of the $9408 that was due. So he was asking the town to support that. the town's response at the time was, we can work something out. So there's been some pre-discussions with the owner on supporting him on that endeavor. And I think, again, as Tom pointed out, it's important that the board understands that going into this and makes a decision whether we can support the owner with that, or as in other cases, they have to go after a personal loan or some type of loan on their own to support that. But that needs to come out, so. That I
And
did.
the same thing on the Route 12 project.
That was the Route 12 I was talking
No,
about.
that was Jonesboro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, 12 on here. Okay.
So we're doing this in one of the projects, this is a request,
No, he just said both.
both projects, okay.
I've been put into this
Okay.
and
Yep,
he's discovered this today.
Yep.
And the conversations that these folks have had with former administrative staff is that.
It's here if anybody wants to read it.
That these costs would be covered by the USDA funds. I called USDA, they are on lunch strike, whatever they call it now, lockdown or shutdown or
Shutdown,
whatever.
government shutdown.
So nobody is there to answer that question for me. But again, if you read these documents, there was clear intent by former administrator that things could be worked out.
And we don't know if they're going to be covered because he hasn't been able to
They're
get that
not,
yet.
it's 25% match. I've.
No, I don't think that's the question.
Oh,
There was additional funding from USDA to cover that, if I'm not mistaken, possibly, but we don't know the answer to that yet.
That's what these property owners told me that was told to them. Just-
And he hasn't been able to validate that, whether that's there.
I don't think without that information or valid details that would be so necessary that we can move forward at this juncture. That's my take.
Can I ask one question? We've done this once already. Can we look back at what they did, I believe it was last summer, on another location in Jonesboro?
so I've spoken to the USDA because I called about Jenny Stacy's project. I
Yeah.
believe there's the possibility of getting up to 90% if you're in a certain area.
Yes.
Vermont has none of those areas. So it's a 25% match by the homeowner. That's, I mean, I am doing this from memory, and my memory, I am getting old, but I do recall there was a possibility of 90%, but there was always some portion of match, and the USDA guy told me there are no, whatever that special area was, there are none in
Yeah.
Vermont.
But I was just more referring to whether they floated them alone on this last project, because we did, not that we really had much to do with it, but there was another project just up on Jonesboro that they did last summer, which is the same thing
Yeah.
as stream bank stabilization
Stabilization, yeah.
project. Like, I didn't know if there was something that they could be looked at there. What, I mean, cause if the town didn't do it for them, or did we did, like,
Oh, you mean if we finance the balance? I mean,
Like they
I
would
think
be
these are
evidence
too
of
far
what happened
along
the
to not
last
do
time.
them. They're essential to these, I think, these properties, otherwise the homes
So
are
is
in
there a
danger.
benefit to the town? And the benefit to the town is to maintain the property as is, right?
I mean, there's severe consequences for the landowners.
Because
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
And so I don't think we can not do it, but I don't necessarily like setting this precedent, but we weren't involved in these conversations, and I just will say, from my conversations with the former administrator about the other project, this definitely was talked about. Working it out, the balance, so, I don't know how we don't do these now, cause aren't they gonna do these now, like in the fall? These are projects that they need to
Yeah.
get going
They
on.
have to be done by the end of October.
And-
Yeah, by the end of this month, the projects have to be completed.
Or you lose the funding.
Yeah.
So I don't think we really have a choice but to move forward at this point. But I think it should be clear that that was a one-off with that administrator and that this doesn't set precedent for future projects. I mean,
I tend to agree with you. The town made a commitment, whether we like it or not at this point. It looks to me, Tom, you did the research, you can tell me if you disagree, but it looks like we committed to the landowners to help them get through this. And we don't have any other alternatives at this point if we want to get the funding that we want to get and get it done.
And again, the Route 12 owner stated that the 25% was covered by other FEMA, that there was no expectation out of their pocket for reimbursement of that.
Right, but again, with the shutdown, that may be something we find out later that we can get and recover it. But I don't think the Route 12 customer isn't expecting to pay anything yet. The other customer has said he would put up the $500
Back
a
in
month or whatever.
2024.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know what was told to him that.
Yeah, it's kind of messy, I think.
The worst case scenario is the town's footing it all, and that's.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to lose the money that we are getting.
What do you got to offer?
I can't write you a check. But I think the most important thing is that this be documented through a lien or a mortgage with the property owners. It can be written in such a way that early repayment can be done if other funding sources come forward once the federal government opens up again, or if there's something through Vermont Emergency Management or something like that. But I think it's really important that the town have documentation with the property owners, and that they be liens against the property.
and I do believe there was a place to sign up, and there was potentially, maybe there are other funds, but we'll have to work through that, but.
I would then, in light of that recommendation, I don't think the select board should take action tonight. And, because I think the Route 12 person's gonna tell me that I was told that it's gonna be covered by something else.
Yeah.
And then now we get into that.
But wasn't one of the,
Carla,
no, I'm just asking if one of the properties was more in danger of being, one of the homes I thought was in danger of washing away if we had any kind of.
I visited them both in '24, and on the Route 12, they lost a barn. On the Jones Brook, they didn't lose any structures, but then there was subsequent flooding in '24 that took even a bigger bite out of the property. I don't have any good. My only thing I could tell you is if you agree to these contracts and let these contracts today, and us trying to go back retroactively on these folks, I think that could be problematic for the town. It's just.
But we can do them simultaneously.
What do you mean?
Approve the contract and seek, and tell the landowners that we are gonna have to put a lien on the property.
You can't let the contract, because the property owner will say, you're not gonna put a lien on my property.
But the contract is to, then we wouldn't do it.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying to you,
But we can approve can't we, well, okay, but how's it gonna get done if
I
we
don't
don't?
know.
If we wanted to move forward, and we move forward, given Carol's recommendation, if we move forward in such a way to include that as a caveat, and then the owners come back saying no, it doesn't negate the fact that we made the attempt to do good by what the previous town administrator indicated. And at the same time, if the wording was, we will forget how it was worded, but we will see what we can do, or we will do something. That doesn't
Work it
necessarily
out.
mean what we were going to do, just that perhaps he was looking into it, per se. But I don't think it takes away from us making a decision to move forward, not knowing how the property owners are going to react, per se.
All due respect, Flo, I think if you agree to these contracts and we give them a notice to proceed, that's their contractual relationship with us. We have now obligated to do this work without having this whole issue.
So we have the work has to be done, or we have to have the contract in place by the end of the month?
Work has to be done.
By the end of the month.
So why can't we accept the bids subject to the landowner's
Yep.
approval?
Yep,
Yes.
you can, yep,
That we enter into a formal lien agreement with them?
yep. I'm just telling you, Route 12 is not gonna do that.
Okay, but it's subject to their
Yeah.
agreement to that provision.
I think the other piece that needs to be in there is Tom needs to be able to reach the office, the feds, to see if there is something there that we don't know.
And maybe there is, but this is still subject to any balance
Right,
being.
right.
And to be honest with you, I don't wanna wade through the federal bureaucracy just to try to find whatever, $30,000 out of this mess. And that'll take forever. And this timeframe will come and go.
I think the verbiage barring the unforeseen and the fact that it seems we need to move forward in some capacity, so I think it's a matter of us coming together on how we word the recommendation for the motion.
I think that's it. We accept the bid, subject to the landowners agreeing that that whatever match remains after the funding is exhausted,
They're responsible for it.
they're responsible for. I mean, that perhaps we do work out a payment agreement, but there's gonna have to be a lien on the property.
Right.
That's I agree with Tom that you don't wanna wait on this. This is important, and it does maintain repair property that carries value in the town, so that's important. So I would move forward with the contract and contact the property owners and hopefully enter into a mutual agreement for the 25%. If somebody doesn't agree to that, the town pays it anyway and puts it as a lien on the property,
Okay,
so.
I like that, what she said.
Yeah,
So then
I'm
you're
just
not
trying to come up with the
holding
words.
anything up.
I'm just trying to come up
Yeah.
with the words, right? So I'm just saying, I think, using some of your words as well, we can approve it tonight pending on a mutual agreement on the 25% remaining balance between a mutual agreement between the town and the landowner. What that's gonna look like, we don't know. We'll have to negotiate with each one separately, right? Maybe this guy's got a plan
Right.
already that he's agreed with him on, and the other one doesn't have a plan yet, but we're open to working with them.
If we can't reach agreement,
Then,
then there's a
Right.
lien on the property.
yes,
Whatever the
exactly.
town pays.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I second that.
And are we
And this will have to be ratified.
ratified? I was just gonna say.
Exactly.
Again, at the
Okay.
next meeting.
So I'm gonna share with these property owners this lien language. I feel obligated to have that.
Yeah, you should.
And
Oh,
so they may say, then don't do these projects.
Yeah.
So everybody's okay with that?
If that's what they choose to do, but the funding may not, they can't get the rest of the funding again.
No, I spent enough time on this. to be
I
honest
mean-
with you, right? So that's just up the course it's gonna go.
But again, it depends on how open they are to negotiation. Maybe it doesn't need to be a lien, maybe there's a payment method. One guy's already offering that, maybe we can work with them to
Right,
find a
we either reach
solution.
an agreement or they accept a lien.
And we go in with a very open mind and hope for the absolute best. And appreciate what you're doing, Tom, as well.
And the original and designers may know if there's other money. Whoever designed it from the USDA.
They're all on break.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's the problem, and we don't know when they're coming back, and there's no time left.
Okay.
So there was a motion,
yep,
there was a second. There's any more discussion, or have we had it? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed?
You know how to word that.
And we will ratify it next week.
Ratification to come.
Okay, let's move on. I'd like to go home sometime tonight.
Good luck.
Leave now.
We'll leave now. Yeah. We are ready to go.
How come I have these in my packet?
Because I printed out the Adobe that I sent you all,
Oh, okay.
so that's all it is.
So we're gonna be going into executive session.
I believe we are.
All right, we have the verbiage, and do we know who we're bringing in?
I believe we do.
Okay.
Who we,
We're gonna invite Carol and Tom.
I make a motion to enter executive session to discuss personnel matters pursuant to 1 VSA 313A2 and invite Carol Dawes and Tom Badowski.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And there won't be any decisions.
No decisions. Okay.
Thank you, Craig.
Yep.